think it's ever mutual, ever. But
I know. But this is like the wedding where everyone's whispering in the back, oh, they're never going to make it.
Exactly. Yes.
She's going to stay with him, right?
What does she see in him?
What does she see in him? Yeah, exactly. Glad
I didn't spend a lot on the present.
Yeah, no kidding. I attached the receipt inside the box. I think we should be happy. If they see something, clearly you don't get to be a head coach in the National Hockey League, whether it's in Philadelphia or an assistant coach in Toronto.
Unless you know what you're doing.
Unless you know what you're doing, right? And a lot of times it just doesn't work. Sometimes the environment doesn't work. Sometimes you get an ownership group that doesn't let you coach the way you want to coach and really let you do what you thought you were going to be able to do in the interview. So you can't just say he failed here, because there was a reason he got there in the first place. So clearly there was something in the interview process that they liked. I mean, are we sitting here thinking that Ron Francis doesn't know what he's doing? Right? That Ron Francis can't find good hockey people? I don't think we're saying that. So, hey, look, if you trust Ron Francis, then trust the hire for now until we see otherwise.
Are we live on YouTube, boys? We are now, Clark said. Okay, because I just called it up and I don't see where we're live on YouTube. But hit refresh. Okay, you know better than me. Joe Lazito is watching in New York, and he says that Dean Chenoweth would have been a great fit in Seattle. Old Chinny. Remember him? But you know what? He's got a pretty good deal in Carolina. He's an assistant coach to Rod Brindamore there, and Dean Chenoweth, I would think, has designs on being a head coach in the National Hockey League, but it's not going to be in Seattle because today they hired Dave Hackstall. And the other breaking news today, and you're going to get the half-shoulder shrug from me here, is Robin Leonard first off the ice in Montreal this morning at Bell Center, the morning skate. You know what that means? The Panda will start in goal, Game 6, for Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, tonight at Montreal. Darren, here's my take on Robin Leonard starting tonight. Are you paying attention?
Yeah. Half-shoulder shrug.
It's the half shrug. If they don't play better in front of him, it's not going to matter who's in goal. It will not matter. Flower, Robin Leonard. But I will say this. I was pretty happy watching SportsCenter this morning pounding away on the old Bowflex Max, and the panel just roasted Mark Stone. Roasted Mark Stone, the captain of the Vegas Golden Knights. And I'm going, you know how this works, right? The Golden Knights will be in their hotel room with SportsCenter on 24/7 like we all do when we're on the road, and Mark Stone's got that pounded in his head every hour. And then all his teammates are like, hey, Stoner, turn on TSN. They're roasting you right now. So if he didn't see it by accident, they would have told him. And an angry Mark Stone can only be a good thing, I would think.
I would think
from
so.
From a Vegas perspective.
Well, and that's where you find out, right? You put some pressure on, and either you're going to crumble or you're going to step up. And, it reminds me a little bit of the third period last night. I know you're probably going to get into the game and your topics, but
if I ever get to them.
When Matt Barzal, in that third period, he had like 2 or 3 shifts where he was the only guy who touched the puck.
Yeah.
And he was moving. He was shifty. That's Matt Barzal that we know, right, and love, and that's elite Matt Barzal. He's not there on a consistent basis. He's not elite yet, but he has elite potential. And he was elite in that third period, and the team followed, and they willed themselves to victory. If Mark Stone, sees this, gets that fire going, and turns into that, he's going to be dangerous tonight.
Stewart die, man.
Yeah.
It is now an elimination game for the Vegas Golden Knights. How about this from Hamilton? Mel McGuigan's watching on Facebook and says, hello from Hamilton. Great show as usual, Rod. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate it. From the Cannons and Tomahawks podcast, good morning from Ohio. And Jennifer Illingworth down at the Four Seasons Sports Palace says, good morning, crew. Isles win. So let's get serious. That's our breaking news today. Robin Leonard starting tonight in Game 6 for Canada's team. And Dave Hackstall is the first ever head coach of the Seattle Kraken. Please hold your applause. Quick 6 show topics, please. Director Jordan, if you don't mind. Jeff Kozak writes in and says, how is your draft going? Any of you at the top? Well, I've gone from the lowest spot. I was dead last at like 457 spots. I've moved up to like 200. And I did pick Vegas Islanders Stanley Cup final. So I'm hanging in. I still got a chance to win this thing.
That's good. I have no idea where I'm at because I don't
You
have
gave up.
I'm at the bottom. I'm way at the bottom. But this actually is a good reminder. I know Nelson's watching, our content creator.
Yeah.
We got to do a top 5, bottom 5, which we did for the draft.
Yes.
We got to do that again. So if we can get on that, that'd be great.
The warm-up, of which you're currently watching, is brought to you by Ecol Electric, your complete electrical distributor with locations in Regina, Estevan, Swift Current, Yorkton, and Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Ecol Electric, let's get to work right after coffee. Wayne in Victoria, BC is watching. He says, I'm sitting in my den with my new United t-shirt from the RP shop. I love it. That's very cozy jersey, eh?
Oh, yeah. Soft.
Very soft.
Yeah.
Yes. Very huggable. Okay. Our number one topic is the Islanders beating Tampa Bay 3-2 in overtime last night, which, frankly, I expected to happen. I picked Jordan Eberle to score for the Islanders or Braden Point for Tampa Bay, and it was Beauvillier, of all things, on a turnover in the Tampa Bay zone. And what did we see last night? Andrei Vasilevsky is, in fact, human. Mm-hmm. You can beat this guy. The guy they call, how about that, Vazzy? So now it's a one-game showdown in Tampa Friday night. What's coming out of this series is this. Kucherov leaves the game in the first period. It was the first minute, wasn't it? He took the cross-check from Scott Mayfield, and I just laughed because I find that kind of stuff funny. And he went down, and I think he broke his ribs. And it was right in front of the referee, and there was no call, and now Kucherov is out potentially for this series. Apologies to Tampa fans, but I'm like, this is so on brand with NHL officiating in these playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to go down that road today?
It really is. Well, I mean, it's a day that ends in Y. Why wouldn't we? Right? I mean,
wow.
Which is typically not what we do, but man, I mean, it wasn't. It was a cross check. It was right there. It broke his rib, so I can't say. I can't say it wasn't a bad.
Why am I laughing?
Wasn't a bad, because I want to say it was nothing. It was a regular battle cross check, but it was bad. It was bad, and unfortunately, but there were some good kills in that third period by New York. That one high stick and that Matt Martin took, and there was a few, but yeah, that was one that changed the game with not having Kucherov.
We only got a few moments left, as a matter of fact, here in the warm-up for Ecol Electric before we bring in JSB. But here's what I'm thinking, because I'm cheering for the Islanders, but I don't really care. I want Vegas to win the Stanley Cup, but I'm like, you can break a guy's ribs and knock the leading scorer out of the playoffs? Then let's run Carey Price tomorrow night. Apparently we can do that. That's the first thing that I think. Is that bad that I would think that?
Who are you dressing that's taking that shot and take your 5 minutes?
Anybody.
And just
Kolazar, Ryan Reeves. I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying you can't be thrown in jail for thinking. That's what I thought. Point 2, Vegas at Montreal. I guess we covered that, eh? Point 3, the Saskatchewan Roughriders post a $7.5 million loss in 2020. That was announced yesterday by the football club. And if not for the Ottawa wage subsidy, they'd be curtains, but they got the money and they're kicking off. I thought they'd lose more. Wasn't the projection $10 million?
Yeah.
So I don't have any more to say about that. Point 4, the CEBL tips off tonight. We're excited, aren't we? You can watch this on the league website streaming. CBC Gem, I believe, will have this broadcast tonight of the Niagara River Lions at the Ottawa Blackjacks. Get on board, folks. Our good friend AJ Jakubic, you've seen him on this show many times, the voice of the Red Blacks, is also the voice of the Blackjacks. I talked to him recently, and I said, what the hell do you know about basketball? And he's like, I know basketball. I grew up playing basketball. So what do you know? He's calling the game tonight from TD Place in Ottawa. Saturday, the Saskatchewan Rattlers, our favorite team, visit the Fraser Valley Bandits, so get on board. And there's a season preview right now at rodpedersen.com written by Matthew Winnick from the CEBL League office. So it's tip-off tonight. You're looking for something else to watch. You're a Hoops fan. Watch Niagara at Ottawa. And I'm grabbing my phone because our poll question today is, are you watching the NBA playoffs, or are you following the NBA playoffs for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center? On Twitter, 68% of you saying no, you're not, and look at this on Facebook. Tell them what they've won, Bob.
Yikes.
82% say no, they're not following the NBA playoffs. Now that, by the way, doesn't matter. You know, if we did this poll in America, are you following the Stanley Cup playoffs? People would go, the what? I think it would be 80+% saying no, maybe 90+% saying no. So it doesn't matter. The vast majority of our respondents aren't following it. Doesn't mean that we can't or that you can't. The Milwaukee-Atlanta series is exciting. Atlanta won on the road in Milwaukee last night.
That's right.
Clippers-Suns, come on. Two teams that have historically been junk in their entire history. Well, Game 3's tonight. Phoenix is at L.A. Suns have a 2-0 lead. I'm following it. I'm just finding out that really not a lot of others are. But that's their loss. Mm-hmm. But if hockey's on, I'm watching hockey. And by the way, while the Blue Jays have won 4 in a row, how about that?
How about that?
Are y'all going to come back and go, wait a minute. Rod was right when he said it's just a swoon. We're overreacting. They never say that, right? They never come back and go, Rod was right.
Not often.
Not too often.
No.
And point 6, CFL Crowds in Ontario. We're following this pendulum, this yo-yo. Lisa MacLeod, the Heritage Minister, came out yesterday and said that she's optimistic that there will be crowds this summer. And you know that everybody in the CFL is just clinging to her every word. All the politicians, all the health people, even the Prime Minister. The fans just want to know whether they're playing or not. And I read that quote, 3 Down had it, and it's like she's like, we'll announce the crowd capacities in an appropriate time. And I'm like, what does that mean?
I know.
What does that mean, an inappropriate? I'd say now's an appropriate time.
That just means that they don't have an answer now, so they're pushing it down. It's language, right? It's language. We don't know what appropriate time means, so what are we going to do? It's just language and PR, right?
It's exactly what it is. I appreciate Chris in Toronto bringing this up, and he says, Chris Bird says, sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but 751 dead children in Cowessess, Saskatchewan are on my mind today. You're not being a Debbie Downer, and just so you know, you spelled it wrong. It's Cowessess. It's literally just down the road from us. The chief of the Cowessess First Nation is a good friend of both of ours, Cadmus Delorme. We talked about this in our morning meeting. How are we going to handle this? And I'm glad that you brought it up. We're not ignoring it. We're going to mention it. But what we've been doing here for over 2 years is to talk about sports and try and keep it on the sports discussion. We're as upset as anybody. I'm speechless. I don't have any words for this. Kamloops was horrible. This is exponentially worse, and it's just down the road from us. I'll find words in time, but I don't have them this morning. I appreciate you bringing it up, and we wanted, Darren, I'll give you 30 seconds if you don't mind. You wanted to acknowledge it, but I don't know what to say. There's no words.
There's not. We were sitting around my office this morning, and you read 751, and I think my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
Because we learned yesterday, it came out, that it was worse than Kamloops, like a lot worse. And I didn't think it was that bad. You know, you just don't expect. You don't know how bad. And I mean, today we can't control what we did in the past, but we can control how we react to what we found out and what we do next. And I think that's what's important. But I'm seeing it from all of my friends. You know, whether it's Michael Linklater or Craig McCallum or Cadmus at Cowessess. It's my heart breaks for all of them and everybody else. And it's in my family, too, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough.
We'll be back. This has been the warm-up for Recall Electric. JSB joins us from Manhattan next. It is Canada's daytime sports talk show. You're watching on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook. And 24-hour sports radio for Suds full-service car wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back to the RP Show, everybody. Thursday morning coming down, or afternoon, wherever you may be, if you're out in the eastern part of this continent. The breaking news today, two things if you just tuned in. One, the Seattle Kraken have named their first ever head coach. It's Dave Hackstall, former head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. It's getting a lukewarm reaction, that hiring. And Robin Leonard will start in goal tonight, it looks like, for the Vegas Golden Knights, Canada's team at Montreal in an elimination game. Canadians up 3-2. How do I feel about that as a Golden Knights fan? It's not going to be just goaltending that it's going to come down to tonight, or for Vegas to win this series. But let's go to New York now. Julie Stewart-Binks, longtime friend of ours, wants to talk hockey. How you doing, JSB?
Hey, I'm doing great, Rod. Thank you so much for having me on. And Canada's team, I definitely don't feel that way about the Montreal Canadiens.
Nobody does. Nobody does. And I'm having a hell of a lot of fun with it. I can tell you that, Julie.
Yeah, so have I. I've been just making TikToks, as Clark knows. He's quite the TikTok guy. And I've been just throwing a lot of stuff, throwing the Montreal Canadiens under the bus, because I tried to explain it to my counterparts in the United States who say, oh, well, but it's Canada's team. It's the Canadian team. It's like, it's not like the Raptors or the Blue Jays, which is the only team of that league in the country where the whole country gets behind it. There are many teams across the country and many different, areas of Canada. And no, especially as a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, I do not want to see the Montreal Canadiens hoist the cup.
Well, that's kind of why I put Vegas up there as Canada's team, because Las Vegas is the whole world city. So let's say that. Now we don't have to fight about the 7 other teams in Canada. But listen, as a Toronto gal, and we got a lot of viewers in Eastern Canada, I want your take on the CN Tower being lit up in Montreal Canadiens colors.
God.
Take it away.
No. And whoever did that just didn't understand the pulse, I believe, of the rivalry, of the fact that this isn't, I'm sorry. I feel bad for the person that is in charge of that, because I would never want to have that fall on my shoulders, because that was just like a very big no-no, especially in the city of which you just dominated in Game 7. And now you're going to basically dance on their grave by putting the CN Tower in the colors of the Montreal Canadiens. Big, big, big no-no. Was not a fan of that. And you know what? Like, Habs fans have just been coming at me real hard. Same with Islanders fans. It's kind of like the 2 series in a way, right? Like you talked about, we Vegas Golden Knights. I'm obviously not on the team. I'm not even like a super fan of them, but they need more offense. And because they haven't been able to really generate as much as we thought they would. But it's like that offensive prowess that they had in the regular season. Same with Tampa Bay Lightning. And then you have these 2 teams like the Habs and the Islanders that are both just like clogging up the neutral zone and just being so hard to play against, that like maybe that's what the key is in the playoffs.
So I got a message last night, because I was doing another show last night. I didn't watch the New York-Tampa game till I got home. I saw the end. It's all I needed. But they said, hey, Nassau's rocking. And they had a pact last night. So does it reverberate where you're sitting right now that the Islanders have forced a Game 7? What's the reaction today?
Well, I'm in Manhattan, so this is like more of Rangers country. And it's just like people here do not like the Islanders at all. Also, they're kind of like the Anaheim Ducks of California, where they're not like, even if they were to go to the Stanley Cup final, it just wouldn't. This is a basketball city. Like people would still talk about the Knicks or the Yankees or the Mets, and then the Rangers, and then obviously NFL. But the Islanders are really far down the list. I think that what we saw last night at the Coliseum is exactly what I expected from Islanders fans. Is that they are very troubled people inside. Their identity is hating other people and hating other teams. And that's why they're so obsessed still with John Tavares leaving. And I can't tell you how many people, like when Tavares got injured, and I know this is like awful, like they were happy about that here in like Islanders fans, which is disgusting, first and foremost, but also secondly, get over it. Like you won. I mean, like you're doing great. Like your ex is gone and you're doing well. Don't worry about them. Stop scrolling and looking at them on Instagram. Like just get over them at this point. So they're just like, they're a lot. They're a lot to deal with. So I was not surprised that they were throwing beers at their own players. And Ryan Callahan had a great tweet that was like, imagine had they won what Nassau Coliseum would have. Or had they lost and Tampa won, what they would have done.
No kidding. By the way, there's Damien DeMesa writes in. I want to read this. He says, I can't wait for the CFL to start. Looking forward to Calgary kicking butt and winning another Grey Cup. I'll be watching from Florida. Hope the merger happens so I can see the CFL live. Damien, we will talk about that to get our CFL news in, because there is a breaking news today in the Canadian Football League that just came down. But yeah, talk about that. I got a notification because I turned the game off as soon as it ended. They said, New York fans littering the ice, what could be the last ever game in Nassau County Coliseum. So that's kind of on point, JSB? Is that what you're telling me with Long Islanders, that they would do that?
Yeah, and it is. It's exactly on point. And my boyfriend's a Rangers fan. He kind of explained to me a lot of the history of the 2 teams and whatnot. Just he grew up on Long Island and is a Rangers fan. And it's just sort of how they acted is exactly what their identity is. And it's, to me, and I don't think Senators fans would do this, because I think much higher of Canadians in general, not Canadians, but Canadians, is that their identity is hating others. Like the Ottawa Senators hate the Toronto Maple Leafs so much, they don't love their team that much as much as they hate other teams. And that's kind of like the Islanders. I love saying all this because like everyone's just going to be like, "Oh, Julie, like you suck. Stop talking about sports." But this is the truth.
You're okay with it by now. And by the way, you worked here in the sweatpants capital long enough that whenever somebody throws something on the field or the ice here, I'm like, yeah, surprised there wasn't more. Our fans aren't a ton different than New York. Did you sense that in your time here?
Oh my gosh, no. Everyone in Saskatchewan and Regina was amazing and so nice and so sweet and fantastic. And that's why I still have a real soft spot when every time I see, Jordan Eberle score, Braden Point, like all these guys that either played there, grew up there, have a connection to Saskatchewan. It's like, oh, it's just that is like I feel it's like the formative years of my life, even though I was like 100 years old at that point anyway. But I just feel like a soft spot for the Prairies.
I was watching a national highlight show the other night, and they said, Jordan Eberle scores. I'm like, how are you still calling him Jordan Eberle?
Now, yeah.
It drives me
amazing.
Nuts. I know. Jason in Red Deer says, is that a Motley Crue shirt, Julie? Nice. What's the story on the shirt that you're wearing today, and why did you take that?
The shirt, actually, you know what? The shirt has a lot of meanings behind it when I saw it. Okay, so Motley Crue, Japan Tour 87. I was born in 1987 out there, but Japan, a little teaser, break the news right now. I am going to the Olympics. Have not announced that. Have not announced that publicly yet. I'm going to the Tokyo Olympics to cover baseball and softball.
Wow. Actually, Clark had mentioned that I needed to bring that up. So tell me more. Is this your first Olympics?
No, actually covered the Olympics in Russia with Jay and Dan.
Right. You did. I'm sorry.
A banana sandwich. But we weren't rights holders or anything like that. So we just got drunk with Chelios every single day. And Michelle Kwan. It was, one for the books. Actually, it's all in Jay Onright's book because it was so wild. But this time won't be like that because I am going to a country that is dealing with a state of emergency, obviously, but also with a rights holder. So I'm working with the Olympic news channel, so Olympic Broadcast Service. It's like you are the rights holder of the Olympics that then gives out all the information. So like when you see an interview, say on CBC or on NBC or wherever, that may be the interview I did, but you won't see my face, that's great. I'll just like tell everyone, that was my interview. But I'm excited. I love the Olympics. It's going to be different, and there's a lot of rules and regulations, but Japan is known for following all of those. And so hopefully everything goes according to plan. They have a lot in place. I just printed out like 10,000 pieces of paper about going to Japan. And I'm pumped though, because for baseball, those who don't know, right, there's no major leaguers from North America there. But there are guys that have played even this year, like on my show last night, Drinks with Binks, plugging that. Todd Frazier, some of you may remember from the Yankees, the Mets, White Sox. He was on the Pirates this year, the Reds, of course. And he is going with Team USA. And so he's pretty jazzed about it. And guys like Matt Kemp, Mike Scioscia is the manager of Team USA. And then you also have on the other side, like Masahiro Tanaka, who is with the Yankees, is pitching for Team Japan. So there's going to be some interesting storylines, and you have a lot of guys that are prospects that will be in there. So it's like guys that are sort of on the riding out in the horizon of their career, and then guys that are just starting. So we'll see how it is.
I'm pretty pumped. I'm pumped for the Olympics. I'm pumped now to watch you doing that JSB. Good for you, man. That's very exciting. And I do remember all your stuff from Sochi. That just looked like the time of your life.
That was the steam room, right? With Chelios and Kwan and Dan Patrick, right?
Yeah, I don't know how much coverage of the Olympics we did. I know that we definitely enjoyed the Olympics and everything there, but no, we did. We covered a lot of stuff. But this will be a lot more. This will be more of a job. That was more of an experience. So, and I don't know how much of the whole city will be able to see and doing all that kind of stuff. But as you know, you are dealing with this situation in the world still, but still the Olympics.
JSB, we have 2.5 minutes. I just need your take on Canada's team, the Golden Knights at Montreal tonight. Leonard versus Price. You're a hockey gal.
Okay,
What's going on?
Love the fact that Leonard's going back in net tonight. I think that's the right decision. He's been able to deal with the Bell Center and that crazy goal song that they have that is like haunts my dreams. And I think that they can do it if, oh my gosh, can Mark Stone just get off the snide and be able to put the biscuit in the basket, as they say. There's so many nifty goal scorers on this team. They have just so much talent. They can do it. Got to get out of your own head. But what it's St. John Baptiste Day in Montreal, ooh, that's a toughie going against that. Carey Price, we're seeing veterans. We're seeing reliable. We're seeing guys playing above their ability that they did in the regular season. This is going to be a real tough test for the Golden Knights. But all we can do is just hope that the Montreal Canadiens do not make it to the Stanley Cup final. And if they do, I hope they make it to 7 games and lose in overtime in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final, because that's worse. It's the hope that kills you.
Speaking like a true Leafs fan, and I'm here for it. The honesty, the truth. I like it, JSB. Good for you. Hey, you already have a legion of fans, but for the newcomers that are just discovering you here on Game Plus TV, where can they watch your stuff and follow you?
Yes, all of my new fans I have cultivated from this interview. You guys can follow me on Twitter at JSB_TV and then Instagram at JulieSB_. And I pumped up one of your other guests, James Duthie, with the book. Been reading it. It's great.
Beauties. It is a very good book. Very funny, actually. He's a funny guy. JSB, always good. Enjoy the hockey. Stay safe.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Love talking with you, Rod.
And congratulations on the Tokyo Olympics. She's going there. So JSB checking in from New York. We'll be back with a sports update. You're watching the RP Show on this Thursday. It is episode number 513 coming to you from the bunker in Western Canada on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds full-service car wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Ultimate Fan Zone. Shop online. UltimateFanZone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. UltimateFanZone.ca. Or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFC Downtown Moose Jaw. Home of everything authentic.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at Rod Pedersen Show.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Hi. Welcome back to the RP Show. I continue to fiddle and have problems with my earphones. What's your problem?
I don't know what to tell you.
What's your problem?
We're going to have to get you some new headphones.
I got new headphones from London Drugs.
You know, have you seen those commercials, the old Tim Hortons commercials where the guy would be on a rotator belt and he'd just be sipping coffee? We'll do that with headphones. We'll have like 30 pairs of headphones.
I would like that. So there's breaking news today. I apologize that I'm a little out of the loop. Hamilton Tiger Cats defensive back Courtney Stephen announced his retirement this morning. I see Jeff the Stamps fan wrote in and said Calgary Stampeders Courtney Stephen announced his retirement. And I can't remember. The league hasn't played for 2 years. I don't remember who Courtney Stephen plays for. But I think it was the Ticats. Yeah, that's what I thought. So maybe Jeff the Stamps fan hasn't had his coffee yet. But anyways, another retirement. So a gentleman, Darren Todd, writing us on Twitter and said, is there a simple explanation for the volume of CFL retirees being announced now that they have an official season planned? Players have new secure jobs and a year off is too long? And I'm just like... So what I did was I went back and screenshotted my tweet from yesterday and sent it to him. And this is what I said, folks. From a CFL agent regarding all the veteran retirements on the cusp of camp, quote, either the passion for the game isn't there anymore, injuries have piled up, or they are making more money doing something else, or a combo of all those things. I just feel like Canada and you people in America that are watching, if you watch this show for 2 hours every day, you'll be up to date on everything. Because what did I say yesterday? I know stuff. And that's why, so I'm answering the same question from this guy today that I answered yesterday. And that's why I've said to so many coaches over the years, particularly hockey coaches, but football coaches too. But like junior hockey coaches, Darren, this young kids coming in all the time, right? You're coaching 16-year-old, 17-year-old rookies every year. I'm like, how do you do it? I would blow my brains out. You're the same thing all the time. But that's what they do. They love it.
Oh, and it's like a teacher in high school had a binder full of laminated pages. Just went back to the beginning next year.
How do you do it?
Every year, the same in, same out. But players, you got to understand something about the players and the timing of it now is, you never, they don't want to retire. Players want to play football. It's what they love to do. So you wait as long as possible to make the decision you don't want to make.
And that's where they are.
And you look for every opportunity. Maybe I'll get a raise. Maybe I'll be able to make it work. Maybe I'll this. Maybe I won't have to take a pay cut. Maybe. And eventually you don't get the answers you want, so you have to decide to retire. But you push that and you put that off as long as possible.
That's what's happening with the CFL players. They've put it off, and now push has come to shove. With these players, I mean, have we done an Ultra update this week? We did one because my commentary today at rodpedersen.com, go read it. It explains all of the retirements in the CFL. You're hearing about a dozen players right now, and there will be more. But there's like 850 other players that have decided to play. Think about that for a second. It just looks like they're all retiring, but the vast, vast, vast majority are showing up for training camp. But for these unfortunate souls, it's just not worth it for them anymore for the variety of reasons that you figured out yourself. Money's not great. Passion for football is gone. You name it. Sports update, Anthony Beauvillier scored in overtime, and the New York Islanders rallied to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-2 and force a deciding Game 7 in their Stanley Cup semifinal series. Tampa forward Braden Point scored for the 9th straight game to help build up a 2-0 lead in the game. Of course, they lost. Game 7 Friday in Tampa.
He still owns that.
Remember that?
Last time we
Champa. Champtown. Not this year. Maybe for the Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Trae Young scored 48 points. Clint Cabela converted a go-ahead putback with 29.8 seconds left, and the Atlanta Hawks beat the Milwaukee Bucks 116-113 to open the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals. The poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is, are you following the NBA playoffs? On Twitter, 73% are saying, that's a hard no. And on Facebook, 79% saying no, they're not following the NBA playoffs, not in our circle. Although, having said that, Dean Tix is watching down in Green Bay. He had a comment here. He says, part of me wants to watch since my Bucks haven't won a title in a half century, but given the recent history, it makes me not want to get let down again. Ooh, that's a hurting sports fan right there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even going to watch because my team's just going to lose. Who hasn't been there? We're with you, Dean. Robbie Ray allowed 1 run in 6 innings, and 3 relievers completed a 5-hitter as the Toronto Blue Jays earned their 4th win in a row, beating the host Miami Marlins 3-1 to complete a 2-game sweep. Bo the Flow had 2 hits, an RBI, and a run scored for the Blue Jays. And they are home tonight to Baltimore. Well, not home, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Substitute Luke Hackinson scored 2 late goals, the first strikes of his MLS career, to lift host Nashville SC to a wild 3-2 win over Toronto FC, who's lost 4 in a row. Also, Clement Diop had 5 saves for his 3rd shutout of the season, and 10-man Montreal held on for a scoreless draw with DC United in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Montreal and DC played to a 0-0 game? How'd I miss that? Damn! This sports update for the Tap Brew House and drive-through liquor store. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Anything else on your mind, Moose?
Whew.
Or should we take a break and come back for viewer takeover?
We're good to break.
Okay.
Let's do it.
James Duthie coming up in hour 2. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Stars, you're dispatched to a scene call. Patient has multiple traumatic injuries and is unconscious but breathing.
This is why I backed the Stars lottery.
Stars, we can accept admission.
This is why I'm all in.
Mission accepted. Have a safe flight.
The prizes are great. The cause is critical.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Get your early bird tickets by June 24th for a chance to win a truck, trailer, toys, and cash. Buy yours at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
At Capital GMC, we don't just sell vehicles, we buy them too. You know how we always have such a big inventory with an amazing selection? That's because we buy all makes, all models, and all years. We're going to give you the best price every time. And you don't even have to buy from us. All you have to do is visit us online or in-store, answer a few questions about your vehicle, and we'll get you a great offer. We'll even cut you a check on the same day. So save yourself the hassles of selling privately and sell it to us. Because at Capital GMC, we'll buy it.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your...
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody. How do you like us so far? Hey, support for the Rod Pedersen Show is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code RP20 at manscaped.com. And then to just get real for a second, both the 3.0 and the 4.0 have a headlight on it. You can take the logo off, guys. But the 4.0 showed up here, and you're like, do you want this? I'm like, no, I'm still rocking the 3.0. You take it. How do you like it?
It's amazing.
How do you like the headlight?
I was wondering, and then I'm like, I'm just going to turn the lights off and do this in the dark just because I can, right?
Exactly.
Just because I can. Yeah. That's a whole new level of power, right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, Manscaped, for looking after us, and thank you to the viewers for ordering manscaped.com with the promo code RP20 and helping us out stay on the air.
Double
with
purpose.
Our sponsors.
If the power goes out and I need a flashlight, it'll also tell you where I am because I'm walking around.
And the other thing is the 4.0, it's not much different from the 3.0, but it's got the headers. There's more clips on it.
If you want to just trim the hedges.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there. You know how your lawnmower has the settings? Ding, 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 ding.
Right. Some people
This
want
has more settings.
Sometimes you want to put your feet in the grass.
Yeah. Checking what's going on. Breaking news today. Dave Hackstall is the new head coach of the Seattle Kraken. If you don't know that name, you can be forgiven. He coached in the Philly with the Flyers. Didn't have a lot of success there. Came from UND. He's the new head coach of the Seattle Kraken. It's getting a from the hockey people on the hire, but I'm giving it the half shoulder shrug. Let's see how it turns out. I would have probably hired somebody else, but they didn't ask me. And Robin Leonard is starting in goal for the Vegas Golden Knights tonight, and that's another He's a good goalie. Marc-Andre Fleury is the goalie, and if they think it's going to be all up to the goalie, Montreal can think that and potentially win. Mm-hmm. Vegas can't think that.
No, they cannot. And this isn't about the goalie. It's nothing to do with Marc-Andre Fleury. Nothing. They made the right decision to go to Marc-Andre Fleury in Game 5. stay on the plan. And now you're in an elimination game. This isn't about we need better goaltending to win. This is absolutely about, look at this group played a little tighter defensively in front of Robin Leonard. They played a little bit better up front, especially late in front of Robin Leonard. So this is just to spark the group to be like, guys, you need to pick it up. The rest of the group needs to pick it up. Just looking for a spark. And I think that's where Peter DeBoer is coming from. And I like it. I think it's fine. I'm a Marc-Andre Fleury guy, but we'll see if the group in front plays better tonight.
You see the shirt that I'm wearing, the Uniting Canada. It's interesting. On the Prairie Mobile text line at 306-840-8777, Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. Morning RP show. Allie from downtown Edmonton. Our order arrived. Items are awesome. Thanks, and we'll wear for tonight's game and in the future on our first trip back to Hawaii. Go VGK, Vegas Golden Knights. So she ordered this, and she sent me a photo, a very nice one. She's got an Oilers hat, RP show mug, and a Rough Riders ball cap. All in a nice little photo there. So I said, email that to me, and maybe we'll put it up on the air here. Nice. So I don't know what we're doing. We're starting something here with the VGK fan club here in Canada. From Metal Shingle Guy regarding the CFL. He says, I wonder if the CFL is interested in Brett Jones. Last I've seen, he was still unsigned in the NFL. Talented Canadian offensive lineman. Here's my first initial thought on that. Brett Jones, former Calgary Stampeder, Rookie of the Year in the CFL. High draft pick of the Calgary Stampeders, played 2 years, went to the league with the Giants and the Vikings. Is Brett Jones interested in the CFL? Not is the CFL interested in Brett Jones. Of course the CFL's interested in Brett Jones. Did you see him blocking people? He was taking on double teams and ragdolling guys. And he's not that tall. He's incredibly powerful and built. He's made a lot of money in the National Football League. I don't think you understand the amount of money that's floating around down there. And he also, I think, has his degree in medicine. He's no dummy. So it's like, does he want to come back to Canada and get his head beat in for whatever he would be? He would be one of the highest paid linemen in the Canadian Football League, and those guys get paid a lot of money.
That's right.
Just saying, you look at Ben Heenan, watches our show every day, former #1 overall pick, went from the Riders to the Indianapolis Colts, kicked around there for a while. And when he eventually got cut, he's like, I'm out. He's farming now, and he loves that more than playing football. So the question is not, does the CFL want Brett Jones? Of course they want Brett Jones. Does Brett Jones want the CFL? That's the question. Did I explain that properly enough?
Oh, yeah. Bingo.
Second hour kickoff. Get your questions ready, and James Duthie coming up too. It's the RP Show, Hour 2 straight ahead here on Game Plus TV.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Ford Lincoln, we don't just sell vehicles, we buy them too. You know how we always have such a big inventory with an amazing selection? That's because we buy all makes, all models, and all years. We're going to give you the best price every time. And you don't even have to buy from us. All you have to do is visit us online or in-store, answer a few questions about your vehicle, and we'll get you a great offer. We'll even cut you a check on the same day. So save yourself the hassles of selling privately and sell it to us. Because at Capital Ford Lincoln, we'll buy it.
Stars, you're dispatched to a scene call. Patient has multiple traumatic injuries and is unconscious but breathing.
This is why I backed the Stars lottery.
Stars, we can accept admission.
This is why I'm all in.
Admission accepted. Have a safe flight.
The prizes are great. The cause is critical.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Every ticket is your chance to win over $4.2 million in prizes. Buy yours at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Right now.
People aren't very confident that Montreal's got this thing in the bag.
That's right.
We all know. But there's just something going on. Vegas is the better team. We all know that. They check pretty much every box. But I just think Montreal's got God on their side.
How about that?
Why he's not on the Golden Knights side is something we're going to have to talk about later. Well, how else do you explain it?
No, but I got some ideas.
How else do you explain what's going on? Vegas is better. Wait a minute. Maybe because it's Sin City.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
We're cooking with gas today. It is, we got a lot of breaking news, which I'll get to in a moment. Welcoming our new viewers and listeners into hour 2 of what we call the second half kickoff here of the Rod Pedersen Show. It is brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the Stanley Cup playoffs and the Seattle Kraken fan club. We're talking sports today on an ominous day here in the Rectangle, and we'll give that a mention a little later too. Last hour, Julie Stewart-Binks was with us from Drinks with Binks, famed U.S. sportscaster from Manhattan. Coming up here in hour 2, James Duthie from TSN, a man who needs no introduction. The breaking news of which I speak. And it's all interesting from a sports aspect. The Seattle Kraken have hired Dave Hackstall as their first ever head coach, the Seattle Kraken. My phone continues to go off from hockey people. Rick Tocchet interviewed multiple times. Rick Tocchet wanted that job. People are wondering, how does Tocchet not get that job? But it's the half-shoulder shrug that I'm giving on a lot of things today. It's their team. They got their reasons, and he hasn't even coached a game yet. So let's see how it works out. He's been with the Leafs the last couple of years. Philadelphia before that with middling success. Not much success there. But whatever. Let's not poo-poo the hiring.
Yeah,
it's their team.
Until we see it in action, it's just not a sexy hire, right? It's just not a sexy hire. It doesn't get you that excited.
It's actually interesting, by the way. Chris Bird in Toronto writes in and says, money talks. And I'm like, Chris, are you talking about this issue with the Kraken? Because that's what people are saying, that maybe it came to, they couldn't pay Tocchet maybe what he wanted, and maybe Dave Hackstall comes cheaper. You'd like to think that they will hire the best coach, but I don't know, you're an expansion team. You want to make it a splash, don't you? Was Gerard Gallant sexy, really, when the Vegas Golden Knights hired him? And he only took him to the Stanley Cup final.
So you're making a case for Hackstall here.
That he's cheaper.
But maybe he's not sexy, but he might still take him to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Like maybe, it's such a hard thing to do. I think you've got a good general manager in Seattle, like Ron Francis.
Right.
You got to have the right coach now. It'll go a long way to.
That's the thing. We're sitting here saying, Not we. A lot of hockey people are poo-pooing this hiring of Dave Hackstall in Seattle. But who knows? In 2-3 years, they might have won a Stanley Cup. They're probably going to finish ahead of the Vancouver Canucks anyways. I mean, who are we to say that it's a bad hire? But the Vegas Golden Knights just laid out. I mean, they blazed a trail in every regard. Getting to the Stanley Cup final in year one. Like, they got a tough task. But who do we sit to say they hired the wrong guy?
Well, because that's now the litmus test. If they don't do what Vegas did, it's going to be deemed as a failure.
Exactly.
And that's a tough. The bar is real high.
Chris Bird in Toronto goes on to say, Rod, good point, but I was referring to the retiring CFL players. So, well, money talks in every regard. As you know, right? It's also the root of all evil. Troy in Toronto from Sober Athletic Wear says maybe the first coach could only last 2 to 3 years, so Seattle may want to bring in a big name for the second hire. Well, that's what Vegas did. Peter DeBoer was a big name.
Yes, but you're not going into this thinking, all right, we're going to hire this guy because we're going to fire him in 2 years, and then we're going to really get excited about our team, right?
You wouldn't think so. And I'll say this, like, I think about it all the time when I see these signings and hirings and the owner and the GM have that prized quarterback there they're shaking hands with or the head coach, and they're just all smiling. They're all proud. And I'm like, oh, it's like a divorce. Over half of these are going to end in divorce. So let's just enjoy it today. Because as you said, the people in the back of the hall at that wedding reception are like, oh, man, how long am I giving this? Thank God I didn't spend more than I did on my present.
Exactly.
What was the other thing you said?
What does she see in him?
What does she see in him? Psst, psst. Who are we to say? It's their team, their business. Good luck. And then the other breaking news, Robin Leonard will start tonight in goal for Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights at the Montreal Canadiens. My reaction, he's good. Fleury's good. It's going to take more than the goalie to win tonight in Montreal. I'll be glued to it. 6 p.m. Mountain face-off on the People's Network, and I don't know how to feel about this. I will be in a glass case of emotion all night long. The Golden Knights are facing elimination. However, as he's not a good friend, but associate, acquaintance, Gino Retta said on That's Hockey, the Knights were down 0-1 against Minnesota, came back and won. They were down 0-2 against Colorado, came back and won. Down 3-2 against Montreal, who apparently has God on their side. I still could see this happening. At least get to game 7, and then you're at home. So obviously it's must win because they're facing elimination. But that's the breaking news there. And then breaking news from the Canadian Football League. And as I think we're all noticing, the news isn't necessarily good this week. Courtney Stephen has announced his retirement. Longtime Canadian, very good defensive back for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He's the latest to retire. So if you watch this show every day for the full 2 hours, you'll be up to date on everything. You'll know everything. Or at least you'll have our opinion on it. But the rest of the country's just now waking up to these retirements, and people are writing in going, what's going on? They're tweeting at us. Why are they all retiring? And honestly, it's not their fault. I opened the week with that. I had been told, be prepared. There's going to be a lot of retirements coming from veteran big names in the CFL. And I'm thinking, why? We're playing. But you dig a little deeper and you realize these guys have had to go out and get other jobs. And now they finally, the rubber's hit the road. They have to make a decision if they're going to go to training camp or not. And Courtney Stephen has said, I can't. Derek Dennis has said, I can't. Brad Sinopoli has said, I can't. Chad Jeter has said, I'm getting on with my life. Taylor Loeffler has said the same. They're adding up, Moose.
Oh, yeah. They really are. And that's the part that sucks. But you wait as long as you can to make this decision because you just want to push it off. They don't want to retire. They want to play. So they're looking for every possible way to play and under every stone for an opportunity and around every corner, but it just doesn't happen. And eventually you have to make that tough choice. It's not going to be the same CFL when we come back. It's going to be a lot different.
Oh, no. Didn't you hear Jeff the Stamps fan? Players come and go all the time. What do you mean? It's not going to look that much different at all.
Of course. Were you watching the XFL? You didn't know any of the players on that? Still football. It's tough. It's going to be really, really tough. I don't know what else to say about it.
It's good. Our official betting partner, Come On, just tweeted, it's caught my attention, us talking about Grey Cup odds. How are you going to set odds for the Grey Cup now and you don't even know who's going to be playing? Really? I see Cody Fajardo just tweeted he was at a rodeo in Reno, Nevada last night throwing footballs. Thanks to the folks who sent that to us. Todd Pinkney being one. So he's not here yet.
You got to get that stuff in because come this weekend, they'll be all in quarantine this weekend and coming down, and then for 6 months or till if you're lucky and you get to a Grey Cup in December, you're going to be pretty restricted no matter what the country is. The country could be wide open. CFL players will still be restricted. That'll be the tough part. It's not just wide open. They won't be able to go out for dinner and go to different places, and they won't be able to grocery shop without their masks on. They're going to have to abide by a different set of rules. And so he's going to the rodeo and doing all that stuff before he goes.
Getting it out of his system.
Get it out of your system.
Another one. Breaking news from the CFL. Another retirement. Tacoby Cofield. Yep. Left tackle. Friend of the show. Tacoby Cofield has retired from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That just came to my phone. News at 11. From Tank Abbott, he says, can't be any worse than the XFL, right? What are you talking about? I don't understand. I'm a block. What do you mean? One viewer wrote in here earlier. It was the guy in Lloydminster, William May. I don't know if you guys can find it or not. He said he had to look up Milestone Sask. He didn't even know what it was. My hometown. Do you know why it's always had a population of 639? It's never changed, even from when I left 30 years ago. The population's never changed because every time a girl gets pregnant, a guy leaves town.
Boom. Where is
That's a banquet joke that probably shouldn't have been saved for national television. But
I knew that one. I was searching my brain for that one. I just forgot it. Because you had told me that one before.
Actually, tomorrow night, I got to give a speech to a group in Winnipeg virtually, and I'm just like, it's been so long since I've given this speech. I hope I don't screw it up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's been so long since I've been in front of a group of people, and this is going to be virtual. Andrew Miller watching on YouTube says, Coach Dickinson said we should be ready for some eye-opening cuts with guys coming in not in shape. Perhaps these retirements are an early version of this too. Guys jumping before they get pushed, probably. And it's funny when people were saying, Dickinson, maybe he was trying to fire guys up. Maybe he was trying to light a fire under them. It's a little late for that. If they're not in game shape now, they're not going to get in a week to come in here for training camp. I love me some Craig Dickinson. We used to go for lunches all the time and talk about things that had nothing to do with football. Just talk about life. I love that guy. But man, did he tick off a lot of players with that comment. He ticked off a lot of players. And it's kind of sad that this is where they are. And that's my commentary today on Cat Country 98 FM and Rock 98.5 FM is The Way Back. Great movie, by the way, starring Ben Affleck.
Mm-hmm.
Really good movie. Kind of mirrored my life in a way. But the way back for the CFL is so long. And yeah, people are going to flock to the stadiums. There's no doubt. But as one guy said to me the other day, for how long? Just that marketing thing and getting people to sell tickets. You're losing. There's still going to be a lot of big name guys in the CFL. No doubt. We're talking about Cody Fajardo and stuff. But just these American people writing me all the time saying, Rod, the only place I get CFL coverage is you. Like in this country, the CFL's kind of been forgotten a little bit. Am I right in that?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I think people, they've forgotten about it. I mean, even when you talk about sports coming back and we hear all the pandemic stories, the CFL's not included. Like the CFL not playing isn't included in the stories of things that happened or didn't happen in 2020 and throughout this pandemic. That's what's kind of tough, as we deal with this whole situation. It needs to be top of mind. It's just not. Just hasn't been.
Well, from Mike Lee watching, Matt Lee, He says perhaps some of the CFL retiring players are considering the conditions of living circumstances for the upcoming season. And if you've been watching the whole show, this is what I would give to that, Darren. He might be onto something there.
How about that?
None of this, by the way, the CFL's fault, really. And what we're talking about is what Farhan reported on SportsCenter a while back. These players aren't going to be able to leave their dwellings for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
These are the CFL health and safety protocols. And these guys are coming up from Texas, Florida, you name it, where they've been living wide open for 6 months and go, I got to do what? And you're going to pay me what? That's the headache that the CFL is looking at right now. So guys are just jumping before they get pushed, as they say. Here's another one. John in Winnipeg. John Ohm. I watched the Riders' general meeting last night on Zoom. The millions lost is heartbreaking. Hopefully them and the rest of the league can recover. There's a guy in Winnipeg sitting on a Wednesday night watching the Saskatchewan Roughriders annual general meeting on Zoom. That's a fan. $7.5 million loss posted by the Saskatchewan Roughriders in 2020. So, my point, Mandy's laughing at my joke earlier about the population of my hometown. I don't think it's that inappropriate.
I don't think so.
I'm poking a joke at my hometown.
I know.
They get it.
I get it.
We got James Duthie coming up. I want to mention, too, the CEBL tips off tonight. Watch it on CBC Gem, streaming from the CEBL website. They've got the new streaming service there, OTT, from the CEBL. It's the Niagara River Lions at the Ottawa Blackjacks tonight. It's another league that's getting hardly any coverage, and I don't understand why. Because if you watched it, you'd love it, especially live.
Very good.
Saturday night, the Saskatchewan Rattlers are at the Fraser Valley Bandits. That's in the Vancouver area. So I'm just saying, pay attention. And I hope we get some scores from that league on the national networks and so forth, because it's a bunch of great guys doing a great job. The commissioner is Mike Moriali, one of the coolest cats you'd ever want to meet. We're going to pause and be back with James Duthie. You are watching the RP Show, and this has been the second half kickoff presented by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the Stanley Cup playoffs and the Seattle Kraken fan club. You're watching on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Stars, you're dispatched to a scene call. Patient has multiple traumatic injuries and is unconscious but breathing.
This is why I backed the Stars lottery.
Stars, we can accept the mission.
This is why I'm all in.
Mission accepted. Have a safe flight.
The prizes are great. The cause is critical.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Get your early bird tickets by June 24th for a chance to win a truck, trailer, toys, and cash. Buy yours at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Laid back and kicking it. Let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Absolutely. And by the way, don't mind me. I'm just tweeting. Our official betting partner, Come On Canada, has their Grey Cup odds out. You can follow them on Twitter. Make your Grey Cup futures bet today at comeon.com or download the app. Just before we bring James Duthie on the screen, we've got things to talk about with him. Several Ontario horse racing fans will be allowed back to watch live events starting next week. Jim Lawson, our good friend, the CEO of Woodbine Entertainment, says they've been cleared for 25% capacity starting Canada Day down there at Woodbine. We got to get Jimbo on to talk about that. Great day for him there. The Seattle Kraken have hired Dave Hackstall as their first ever coach, and Robin Leonard starts in goal for the Vegas Golden Knights, Canada's team tonight at Montreal in Game 6 in do or die. So now let's bring in James Duthie, TSN's hockey host. A lot of things, James, to go through there. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. How you doing, buddy?
Good, good, good. Well, you guys had that live racing last summer, every Thursday night from Woodbine. That's pretty big news to open that place up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, every little step to fans at any sporting event I see is positive news. Let's hope we can get by August full buildings for the Canadian Football League. That's my next big goal.
I was just going to say, the CFL fan that you are, for sure. If it's 25% July 1st there, 35% by August, maybe not a huge stretch. Hey, Dave Hackstall. Nobody saw that coming.
No, nobody whatsoever. Usually the insiders, our insiders, or Elliot or someone. It's an interesting choice. I think people seem to be ripping it on social media, and that's fine. I don't ever like when a decision is obliterated before you've even given the guy a chance. I mean, a year in, if you look like they have decent potential through the expansion draft and the deals they make, and then they suck, I suppose you can say something. It's a curious choice. His tenure in Philadelphia, he had his great first year, which happened to coincide with Shane Gostisbehere coming into the league and having that unbelievable first year. And then they I think they made the playoffs, 2 years in his 3.5. I guess he was fired in his fourth year. It's an odd choice to me. I have this theory, Rod, that some guys just probably interview really well. And in a situation like this, maybe he's a guy in the interview room as to outlining what his plan is. And that's what sold him on.
Well, I don't know who all the candidates were, but I got word this morning that Rick Tocchet had 3 interviews. I can't imagine how many Hackstall had, but I'm with you. Hasn't coached a game yet. Good for them. But let's say this about the Golden Knights before we segue into Game 6. Man, have they made it hard for any expansion team moving forward to match what they've done.
And it will be impossible because the rest of the league was caught off guard by this particular situation and completely had no experience with an expansion draft, and thus made those crazy deals because they were so petrified of certain players being taken. The Florida one is probably the prime example. where you give up 2 guys so they don't take another guy, and those 2 guys end up being staples on the Golden Knights for years. So I think that NHL teams have all learned the lesson, so I don't think we'll see all those trades that we saw with Vegas for teams to avoid having them pick a certain guy. So I think you're going to have more of a traditional expansion franchise here. I really do, where, maybe they'll be competitive right away, but not do what Vegas has done. I think this is a once in a hockey lifetime.
Yeah, and good for them, by the way. And I'm hearing to not expect the trades that Vegas pulled off. You nailed it. A traditional expansion draft here. Wouldn't that be nice? Hey, Robin Leonard tonight, sounds like. Were you surprised?
That would be my selection. I'm a little surprised only because when you make the decision to go back to Fleury after Leonard wins, to me that was a non-conventional decision only because you usually go with the goalie who's just won. So when DeBoer goes back to Fleury, he says ostensibly Marc-Andre was tired, so he needed a couple of days off. But that basically says that he's your guy. Was Fleury great in the last game? No, but he had zero support. I didn't think he was awful. And so it's kind of a weird... You risk here, if you do lose, that Pete DeBoer, afterwards, there's going to be a lot of criticism about going back and forth like this. I cannot remember the last time, maybe one of your listeners is better on trivia than me, that you had goalies go back and forth for 4 straight games. I don't remember my time covering the Stanley Cup playoffs. So there's a risk in the criticism. But having said that, I would have gone with Leonard too. I just feel like there's a fragile team right now on the ice, and you go with recent memory, and your best recent memory is Robin Leonard getting the win in Game 4. So I know I've contradicted myself here. I'm surprised by the decision because I thought when he went back to Fleury, that was his guy. But I think it's probably the right move as far as your best chance to win.
You're bang on. There's no rhyme or reason for how they start their goalies. I realized that last year in the playoffs, and I'm a Vegas fan. Mm-hmm. I'm a long-suffering Vegas fan. We've never won a Stanley Cup.
All those years.
Yes, we've never won a cup. So
I feel for you, Rod.
Yeah, they're both good goalies, and they're not the problem. And I actually enjoyed watching your panel roast Mark Stone last night because he'll be watching it all morning in his hotel room in Montreal, firing him up on SportsCenter. And that's right. You know that's how it works, right? Those guys are all
well, yeah.
But
they're watching. Should they have not been fired up before the last game? I mean, they basically haven't done anything all series, and that's, to me, is by far the most shocking thing here. Although I guess if we watch Montreal carefully, the last 3 games against Toronto or the games against Winnipeg, really none of the star players have done anything in any of those 3 series from Game 5 on against Toronto. So I have relentless praise for what the Habs have done systematically here. There's just no room for any of these guys. But hockey coach cliche, your best players have to find a way to break through in a situation like this. So you're right. Stone will be mucho motivated tonight.
Look, growing up in Ottawa, I will have to ask if you were a Habs fan, and with what's going on in Montreal, how do you explain what's going on? Because I've said God's involved here, and maybe it's because they're going against Sin City. I don't know. Habs fans are angry at that. They're like, no, we're playing well. Stop with the God stuff. Something's going on, James. I don't know what it is.
So I was not a Habs fan. In Ottawa, you're right. You either loved the Habs or hated them. And obviously, I grew up in the time when it was the dynasty in the 70s. And so I couldn't stand the Canadians. I wasn't a Leafs fan either. There was no Senators back then. I was a Chicago Blackhawks fan, long story. And then I was an Islanders fan because I followed Denny Potvin, who was an Ottawa boy, and that was good timing for me because they won a bunch of Stanley Cups. But it's one of the more remarkable stories, I think, in the last 20 years, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Whatever happened, I really want to go back and watch Game 5 of the Leafs series, because when they walked off the ice after Game 4, losing 4-0, completely lifeless, completely defeated, done. And everyone who said the series was over, I don't think you can criticize them because Montreal showed absolutely no signs of any life. And to step on the ice and what we've seen now, through the rest of that series in Winnipeg. It's an absolutely, completely different hockey team. I think it's probably as simple as your goalie's unbelievable. You start to believe in your goalie. You have big 4D in front of them who are playing rock solid. And suddenly you get belief, and all the forwards commit to doing all the little stuff the coaches are saying, all that boring neutral zone, get back, get your man, get sticks in the way, block shots, all that stuff. And it suddenly just kind of all comes together magically. But it's been something. This is probably the least likely run. Well, I guess since Vegas, your team, in year one. But at least we saw that coming in the regular season, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? I love Carey Price so much. It's win-win for me. I wouldn't tell the Golden Knights that. Our friends
awesome.
there. Yeah, well, how can you not?
He's awesome.
He's awesome. And you look at how much fun they're having. Suzuki and Kokniemi pounding each other at the news conference the other night. You know, right? You saw that. Cole Caulfield. How you not love him? Like, you can't not like this team. So it's been fun.
Quick Carey Price story. The year that Carey was drafted was the year when they had the draft just in Ottawa, the small draft, or I guess because of the lockout and such. And what was it? Yeah, would that have been his draft year? I'm trying to figure it out. Anyway, whatever it was the one in Ottawa that wasn't the big draft. There was no fans there.
Mm-hmm.
My mind is all mush as far as blending times and years together. But so I was hosting that draft, and Price got drafted, and then I was done for a little while because there was no Canadian team, so I wasn't going to have to talk on television for a few minutes. So I just went backstage to get a muffin or something, and Price was sitting alone at a table. I guess he'd done his couple. It wasn't the usual where you get thrust into 6 hours of media. There just wasn't that many media there. So he's sitting alone. I sit down next to him, and it's just this 18-year-old kid, and he goes, "So what's Montreal like?" I said, "Oh, Montreal's awesome. You're going to love it." And it's vibrant downtown, and his eyes are all wide. And just to watch this 18-year-old kid become this, 30-something, as cool as can be, best goaltender in the world, I always think back to that, because he was your typical wide-eyed kid who was just so, so excited to be drafted by this franchise. And I'm a big fan.
Anaheim Lake, BC, Tri-City American, and he's only 33.
Right.
It feels like he's been around forever. He's still got a lot of years left, and I'm glad you shared that story. I just love a kid like that. Canada's Vegas, by the way, Montreal. That's what my friends and I talked to it about. Hey, we had Julie Stewart-Binks with us last hour, and she had your book over her shoulder. Yeah, Binksy, what a beauty she is. Speaking of beauty.
She sent me a text. with the I actually ask all people in the business now, and I don't know why you don't have it behind you, Rod. I guess I didn't send you.
It's at home.
That's a shame on my part. It should be included in the set. It's got to replace one of those football helmets.
Tell the guys. Yeah, what's virtual, by the way? This is a green screen, James. Not that you care, but
I don't even have it behind me in my own set. That's embarrassing.
Well, you know what?
Somewhere back there, I think.
How have the sales been, by the way? Because it's so funny. There's not a lot of books that I read that you like. You bust out laughing. You must have had a riot putting that together.
Yeah, it was good. I just, I'm really not trying to plug here because they put out the paperback early, and I just got them a couple of weeks ago. So
nice.
It did really well. I mean, it was a #1 national bestseller, which I'm proud of. And no thanks to me, just thanks to the stories that everybody gave me. I think that it was, you had me on when I was plugging it the first time, and it was just tons of fun, right? Just basically I sat on the phone or in person with guys and just let them tell stories for an hour and picked out my favorite ones and wrote them up in the book. So it was a real kick.
Yeah, well, you'll get this. Can you get Michael Landsberg to write a book so he would get it? Because you and I both have. So when I was on Off the Record and completely bombed because I had an anxiety blackout, he said on the air to me, "What's the best story you didn't put in?" What?
Right.
Why would I not put in the best story? Like, what?
Right.
Right. Like,
I suppose, and I was asked that question multiple times on, all the book interviews I did. And I think I was just like you, Rod. I don't think I had an answer. There was probably a couple that, I wanted the book to be able to be read by, kids as well. Right. Like I used to read hockey books all the time when I was 10, 11 years old. So I probably left out a couple of racy ones. But I can't think of one off the top of my head, and I probably couldn't repeat it on your show anyway. There you go.
Well, kids love bathroom humor, so the Luongo story would Right out of the gate.
There you go.
They would love that.
There you go.
Before we let you go, because you're on the CFL's rights holder and you are a dyed-in-the-wool Ottawa Rough Riders fan, your thoughts on the CFL's return? How much you following what's going on?
Yeah, I'm super excited. That was a real hole in my life last year, not just work-wise. I, of course, don't do, Rod and the boys do all season just because the hockey season's so long. I take some time off in the summer, but I always am fortunate enough to do. I always forget to turn off my phone when I'm on with you. So it was a dark summer not having it. It's a massive part of my summers every year, and I just can't wait to get it back. And like I said, I hope. You're right. I think 35%, maybe 40% by August, and maybe by September, October, we're close to capacity. That would be my hope. I don't see why not if we get to 80% double vaxxed or whatever it is. So I think we have a real chance at a semi-normal season, and I wasn't sure that was going to happen back in even early spring.
As they say, you don't know what you have till it's gone, and it's been gone, but at least it's coming back. So, James, TSN's a huge staple of my life. I watch you guys every single day. I love it. Keep up the great work. It's an honor to talk to you, and I appreciate you fitting us in today.
Oh, no. Honored to be on your show. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Have a good day. James Duthie out in Toronto joining us. And by the way, I've often said to my friends, if you could only have one channel for the rest of your life, only one, what would it be? And for me, it's TSN and Game Plus. What's yours?
Yeah, it's there too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Used to be A&E, honestly, back when it was really good, when it had an American Justice and Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Storage Wars was just getting going.
Right, yeah. That's why I don't watch that. For now, it's TSN. Couldn't live without it. We'll come back with a sports update. More breaking news today. We'll jump more into this Seattle Kraken story and, of course, the always popular viewer takeover where we will turn it over to you. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds full-service car wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalfordlincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day, With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Big day. Really big day. Game 6, Vegas at Montreal. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, has written in and says, since the referees have been a hot topic, tonight Kelly Sutherland and Eric Furlat back from Game 5 to be tonight's officials. I don't care who the refs are. Do you?
No.
No. Don't care. Let's do a sports update first. I mentioned this with Duthie earlier. I'll mention it again because I think this is pretty big news. Ontario horse racing fans will be allowed back to watch live events starting next week. Jim Lawson, the CEO of Woodbine Entertainment, formerly the chairman of the CFL's Board of Governors, says both Woodbine Racetrack in Toronto and Woodbine Mohawk Park will allow spectators at 25% capacity starting Canada Day. The move comes after the Ontario government announced Thursday, that's this morning, it will move into the second stage of its reopening plan next Wednesday. So if it's 25% on July 1st in Ontario, could we reasonably expect 35% by August, which is what the CFL needs to play? I don't see why not. So that's good news. But I'll be betting on the Dark Horse app. I don't need to be there in person. Big partners of ours last year, the Dark Horse Sports wagering, horse racing wagering app. The Seattle Kraken hired Dave Hackstall today as head coach of the expansion franchise that will begin play this fall. Hackstall will lead the first-year organization in his second head coaching job in the NHL. He coached the Philly Flyers from 2015 to 2019, spent the past 2 seasons as a Maple Leafs assistant. The 52-year-old coached the Flyers to 2 playoff appearances, but both were first-round losses, and he was fired midway through his 4 seasons. He coached at UND for 11 years and was an off-the-board hire 6 years ago for then Philadelphia general manager Ron Hextall, just as he is for Francis this time. Montreal Canadiens can reach the Stanley Cup final for the first time since 1993 with a win tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. They're hosting Game 6 up 3-2. 6 p.m. face-off, CBC. That's Mountain Time. The LA Clippers have already erased 0-2 series deficits against Dallas and Utah to reach the Western Conference Final, but it won't be as easy this time against the Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul reportedly intends to play for the Suns in tonight's Game 3 after being sidelined for the first 2 games while in the league's health and safety protocols. Meanwhile, whether 5-time All-Star Kawhi Leonard returns for the Clippers from a right knee injury remains to be seen. And Anthony Kay is scheduled to start for Toronto against Baltimore's Dean Kramer as the Blue Jays and Orioles open up a 4-game set in Buffalo. Jays rookie Alek Manoah was suspended for 5 games for throwing at Baltimore's Michael Franco last weekend. Manoah appealed the discipline, and the suspension will be delayed until after he appeals the process. The last-place Orioles have lost 5 in a row. And Brooke Henderson and Alina Sharp are the 2 Canadians teeing off today at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship in Georgia. Henderson has 3 top 6 finishes in the last 4 years at the event and won the tourney back in 2016. The sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis with the best team of writers across Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. Visit dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors. And you saw, I have pilfered all for myself, my favorite almond coconut. What I love is I would love it the most around here, and there's enough of these bars around for everybody.
Yeah, there is.
So I can take my favorite.
That's right.
But mine's almond coconut. RP Show viewers get 25% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. Trent Bruner writes in from Norway. He says, Norway calling. I predict Montreal wins. Not reading anymore.
How about that?
Regarding Chris Paul, so he missed the last 2 games because of the NBA's health and safety protocol. Is it just me? Because I'm sitting there looking at the CFL going, if the big boys like the NBA can't get CP3 playing in the NBA Finals, West Conference Final, what the heck's going to happen to the Canadian Football League because the health and safety protocols, they're no joke in Canada. See what I'm saying? I'm saying in America, they're taking it this serious.
Oh, yeah.
What the heck is going to happen in Canada? I mean, this crowd capacity thing for the CFL to play at 35%, that's one hurdle, but there are many more that I don't think people realize, and it mostly relates to my number one hurdle, which is the COVID variant vaccination rollout, health and safety protocols. This just seems very tenuous to me as we sit here on June the 24th.
Yeah, no, it is. We don't really know. And if all it takes is that variant going one way and completely changing that, maybe the vaccines aren't doing what they need to do against the variant. Like, it's so fragile, right? It could come down real fast. But I'd like to stay optimistic and think we'll be able to get to a good place for the Canadian Football League. But look, we have to stay open to the fact that, hey, it might change really fast. And you're right, the health and safety protocols, they're no joke here, and especially for the players and these teams. Like, the fines will be heavy, contracts will be terminated if you're not following the protocol. Like, it's not going to be, loosey-goosey here at all.
Well, fun to follow. We have learned so much in the pandemic, and that is that most Canadians, and I'm sure Americans are the same, they got their lives, they got their jobs, they got their kids. They just want to watch the games.
Yeah.
And they want to rely on people like us to give them the news of what's going on. So we're trying to do that. But they're not getting into the minutia of what we're getting into. I guess they rely on us to cover that. But do you think that people's hopes are getting up too high? That's what's worrying me about the CFL right now, is that we're setting up for another big fall. I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
I know.
But it's just that second shoe to drop. The Jason Bisick says, would Manoah miss 5 games or 5 starts? He'd miss 5 games, which he clearly still doesn't want to do because he's appealed that. But they still dress for every game. They just don't start every game. Correct?
Yeah, they're all available.
Yeah.
Even if they're not available. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They're all allowed to play.
From Alan Lee, the intern. He says, conspiracy theory. LeBron is allowed to play when he went to a party, and Chris Paul doesn't get the same treatment. The NBA doesn't want Chris Paul to succeed. I think Chris Paul's lack of success in the NBA is because of Chris Paul. How about that?
How about that?
And I also think, do we have to go back? This is a conversation from 2 years ago. There are different sets of rules in society for different people. We know that, right? The NBA is no different. LeBron is in his own class compared to everybody else. They're going to let him away with more things. Let's take a timeout. I want to hear from everybody when we come back on the full-on viewer takeover here in overtime. You are watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding area since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade and Allowance program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. This is like my favorite part of the show, I think. I know for a fact that it's Monty's favorite part of the show. And I've been enjoying the good-natured kibitzing and ribbing for the most part throughout these Stanley Cup playoffs with fans of teams that my teams played, the Vegas Golden Knights. But Jeff Kozak, who's actually a really good guy, but he wrote in and says, sorry, Rod, I'm going to have to miss your show tomorrow. I'll still be celebrating. He's a Habs fan. The hate that I've received, you have to understand, I've been calling the Vegas Golden Knights Canada's team for over a year. You've been sitting there. You know that.
That's right.
Can I just say this? There's some like really mean things have been said about me, by the way, and I've been called worse by better. But do you see me trashing any other teams? I'm just cheering for mine. I'm not calling down Minnesota, never called down Colorado. I'm damn sure not calling down Montreal. I'm just cheering for my team. And people just can't handle it. And they want to say mean things. And then I realized too, like some of these Montreal fans that are like longtime friends of mine, like they're getting upset, some of them. Like they're threatening to end the friendship. I'm
right.
Like, then you were never my friend. If that's how you feel. Like through the pandemic, through politics stuff, if we lose a friendship over what you think about Donald Trump or what I think about Joe Biden or Justin Trudeau, then we just weren't that good of friends. Let's grow up here. Mike in Toronto says, you regularly say that Habs fans are so annoying. Yeah, that's why. I said I'm not denigrating the team. The fan base is something different. They're getting annoying. Robin Stewart's watching on YouTube and says, regarding the CFL crowds, he says, vaccine card and mask should be fine. 75% CFL capacity. Stupid. Outdoor events are low risk. Look at the NHL and baseball down south. Let us go back to normal. 99.9% recoverable. Come on. Dude, that feels like a so last August discussion. Although, I do have friends in government, believe it or not. And they play on the right wing. Know what I'm saying?
How about that?
And they're like,
yes, I do.
And they're like, oh yeah, they got to open the border. There's so much heat on Trudeau. They're getting so much heat. They're going to have to open the border. They're going to have to drop these restrictions. And I'm like, I don't see any desire by him to change anything. Right? No. And I've been hearing this for months and months and months. So we'll see. Sean on YouTube says, no hate from me, Rod. You're just wrong. Ha ha. No, that's okay. I'm just saying, if you're going to lose a friendship over a damn sporting event, that's just ridiculous. William May says, how long are you going to be a Las Vegas fan, Rod? Till they put me in the ground, William, which could be any day. From Bob in Grand Prairie. Yes, I hear from everyone except Canadian fans cheering for Montreal. What's that supposed to mean? That not all of Canada's getting on the Montreal Canadiens bandwagon? Why do you care? This guy's a Habs fan, by the way. He's been writing in all year. Who cares? Cheer for your team. Enjoy the games. Who cares who's getting on the bandwagon or not? From Jeff on Facebook. When will the Vegas trip and dates be announced? Over to my lovely and talented co-host.
Can I just send it right back?
I don't have fingers at each other.
Don't have an answer yet. Yeah, the Spider-Mans. I don't have anything yet, but we're working on it. I hate saying that. Be patient, please. Be patient, please. Be patient, please. Be patient.
Patience, huh?
It's all the best I can offer right now, but I won't. Actually, I can answer that question directly. Vegas trip dates and times will be announced next May.
What?
Okay. So we're not going to Vegas this year. Vegas is next year.
Oh.
Right? This year's Florida or California, I believe.
December.
Yeah, no. So if you want the Vegas trip stuff, stay tuned. In May, we'll announce the Vegas trip for the following December. But the trip this winter will be somewhere warm, and we'll be announcing that. I'm hoping, I want to see it really soon, within a month or less. But
some information?
Yeah, but we're kind of, hung up by the teams too and schedules and that kind of thing.
From William May, he says, ha ha ha, you two are like politicians. How should we feel about that?
I almost spit my water out.
Why?
I don't know. It's funny. It's good. Just pointing the finger back at you. Take it. No, you take it.
John Schmeizer's watching in Kansas City. He says, don't care about all the noise. I just want to see the Habs win tonight. That's fine. And I want to see my team win tonight. Tacona Powley in Winnipeg says, true dat, Rod. We're still buds, even if you won't mention the soccer bubble. He's just all in on this Canadian Premier League soccer thing in Winnipeg. Listen, you guys got to get over it. You guys got to get over it because you don't care about what I'm into. You don't care about the Regina Pats and Connor Bedard. I don't know how big you are into the CFL or the National Lacrosse League and the Rush. I've tried soccer. I don't enjoy it. The Montreal Impact played to a 0-0 tie last night with Washington, D.C. If I'd spent all night watching that game, I'd have to kick my own ass. So you go watch it. You go enjoy it. Get out of my face with your soccer bubble. God.
Does that feel good?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I just broke into a sweat.
Good.
Yeah, we got to get off the air. People are getting weird. Frank in Toronto's watching on the 416, from the 416. He goes, Mr. Pedersen, Duthie's brother was a brutal touch football player. An insult to the game. Sorry, the truth hurts. You like that one, eh, Clark? Now you're going to start trash talking James Duthie's brother about how he plays touch football? Wow. Hey. Oh, okay. The poll question before we go off the air today. You have 22 hours now to vote on. Are you following the NBA playoffs? 77% of you saying no. 23% of you saying yes. And I got to be in the yes category on that.
Yeah. I'm following through the show more than I'm actually watching the games. But I don't know. I enjoy. When I do watch them, I really enjoy it. It's just not top of mind because it's hockey every single night.
Yeah.
At least it feels like in years past when you get down to the Final Four, there'd be an off night mixed in here every once in a while. But it's not the case.
Well, so you're saying you're watching it because I'm giving the updates on
That's
here?
right. That's how I'm following it through this show. When you give me the updates, that's me following it.
Well, I'm a squirrel. I love the basketball. Zing, zing, zing. Action. It's fun. It's, and what was going on in New York last night looked amazing. It's going to be, 3,500 in Montreal tonight. Still going to be fun. But you don't watch for the crowd. We'll see you tomorrow for a Flame Tech Football Friday at noon Eastern here on Game Plus. Truth's in the coffee. It's Truth Serum.